Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of New York City here in Subway Builder, where I'm just kind of looking at our network right now and it looks quite extensive. It really does. Last episode, we got rid of our loop line system and favored it over extending on that loop line with new routes running through Queens. And we got our northern route running to LaGuardia, finally all the way down to JFK. We extended our purple line. Everything is now pretty much geared up for us to go ahead and expand in to the Bronx. You guys have been wanting the Bronx for a long time right now. Every episode it's like, Seniac, time to expand to the Bronx, and I think we are now ready. What we're going to do is going to focus on the last extension of our elevated light blue line here, which will marry up to that connection just there. And that then will set us up beautifully, boys. Beautifully right now to running all of these lines north into the Bronx. Now, if you are enjoying this series so far and want to see more of it, then make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it right now. So, that blue line's got to extend, and we've got to do some kind of configuring at the same time to allow us to move an additional line that runs from the airport, which will come from a turn down at this point, which we got to set up. There's actually a lot of stuff we got to set up at the moment to get us to run directly into the Bronx. But this will be pretty interesting. Now, last episode was a massive infrastructure expansion. It's probably one of the bigger episodes that I've done. And I feel like this one is going to be not far off it. Now, what we need to do, we need to extend this blue line, and we need it to get to crisscross over a couple of stations. My only problem is, when we get to this gold line and we cross just here, there is no station, so I might need to slightly redo the gold line to include a station for my light blue line. I might have the same issue with the normal blue line, but I think that's kind of close enough where it's nothing to worry about. And then we've got the green light to keep running. So, let's jump straight into build mode then, boys. So, if I can remember correctly, we did make it go underground at this point. So, this should be an underground station. So, if I build the station and we go for I'm going to say a -5 just here. And then hoping I can get to a +5 by the time we get to here. Now, it's a big ask. It is a real big ask right now, but let me see what would naturally happen. So we're a +5, and I can only get to +5 from this point there, so I think we might be okay. Nice. Right. That was a lot easier than I was expecting. Now, if obviously this is underground here, if I go from there to there, I've got to make sure that we are -5. Oh, actually, we need to go a little bit lower because of the buildings. It actually might be a -10 thinking about it. Right. I got to make sure that we are not clipping any of the buildings and that we run in there just smooth enough. Okay then, so let's go back to the +5, and we're going to continue this elevated fashion. I do like the idea of it being elevated. And let's now set up all of the stations. So obviously we're going to have a station there. We could in theory have a station here, but I don't know whether that's now becoming a little bit too close together. I'm not too sure. I'll then implement a station just here. So that then will give us our station crossover, which will go just there. Which is what I'm going to have to readjust this gold line to have a station a little bit closer. Now, same thing kind of goes for this blue line, but I feel like that's close enough. We're kind of okay. And I'm going to... Is dropping another station there too close? A part of me wants to say yes. A part of me wants to say yes. But if I'm doing that, then I'm dropping a station here as well. Now, these are way too close together, so I'm going to undo that previous one. I'm just going to roll like that. Right, so we eventually need to marry up to over there, which that's now underground. So here should be my last elevated station. And let's see how this is all going to go. If I had one then here, that does the spacing about right. So let's now run all of this in. So get you to there and connect you in. We're going to go directly from there to there. Nice and easy. There to there. Right, I'm going to bend this round, boys. And in. And like I said, it should be relatively easy apart from these little areas where we've got to now navigate a couple of buildings. So if I just bring it to here. And then I'll have to slightly wiggle down, unfortunately. Right, continuing this fashion. Nice. Finally, no buildings in the way. There we go. Right, that gets us all connected. This is going to be a glorious extension for this light blue line. A glorious extension. So we now need to get this down to a -5. And the reason I've chose it here because we've got a lot of room to get it down to that level. So then going under this is no Oh. Hold on. This is not elevated, is it? Have I messed up thinking that this is elevated? That's elevated still, isn't it? Right, forget everything I just did. My whole life has been a lie. Undo. So if I ran from there to there... Oh, okay, it was elevated this whole time. Right, I totally knew that, guys. I was just testing you. I was totally just testing everyone watching right now. Right, we're going to have it end at this moment in time here. So we'll implement the crossover just there. And because we need another line that extends through here up and around into that as well. But we can kind of just allow that light blue line to end there for a minute. And then we're underway. So if I build those blueprints, they're going to cost us not even $1 billion. Oh, boys, what a price right there. Get me 20 of them right now. That sounds amazing. And we just wait for these blueprints to now build. Finally. And let's get on this extension. So the light blue line then, we're going to edit the route. And now allow it to touch both. Perfect. And then we're going to run this all the way up, allowing us to maximize the amount of stations that we have set up on this. Very good, very good. Try and do 2 stations in one. Should help us out. We've got to redo that gold line. Is it the gold line or is it the blue line? No, it's the gold line down there we've got to redo, isn't it? Yeah. It is the gold line. I just want it to be a little bit closer, just so it makes a little bit more sense. All right, there we go. Last one there before we cross the water, we put it on the right-hand side. Right, this would have extended the light blue line now quite some distance. And it's a big major connecting route as well. So we should see the numbers shoot up on that. Right, train-wise, we're going to have to now increase or decrease the frequency. Oh, we need more trains or carriages. Right, buy loads. I can never buy enough. I can never buy enough right now. Right, I'm gonna buy 300 because I feel like we're gonna be doing a lot of trains today. So, frequency 18 trains there. We'll bring this down to 10 at doing 9, and we'll bring this down to 15 doing 6. And off you now go. Glorious. That is a beautiful extension. So that sets up another line ready and raring. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7 current lines ready to extend into the Bronx. But there's still more needed. Now let me just redo this gold line then, because it will annoy me that we don't have the perfect connection. So get rid. Right, I'm probably going to break the game doing this. Get rid. So get rid, and then get rid there. So I confirmed those changes, but awkwardly, I need to add a crossover here so they can use that as an end station. Build those blueprints, and then that should technically update the line. Right, give it a second. Give it a second. We're still giving it some seconds right now. There we go. So, play mode. Let me get out of view. There we go. It's now updated. So, now I just need to wait for the trains to get off that just so I can readjust this station. Now, if I'm moving this down there, do I need to add an alternative station in? Or I'm not too sure, actually, thinking about it. So, let me delete the tracks. Let's put this back to, like, normal, speedy. All right, delete you, delete you. So, it's going to be a -5 station. I know that. And if I just put it like this, it should be all we need. All right, there we go. There we go. It should be all we need. Yeah. Right, build those. Slight little update, boys. But it means the transition is a little bit better from the gold line to the light blue line. It might be only minimal passengers that use it, but you know, I'm nice like that, guys. I'm a nice CEO, okay? Okay. I'm cool like that. Right. This is on the inner side here. So it is 4-lane station there. I might not ever use the 4 lanes, but it's just there anyway. Oh no, I don't need that second one. There we go. So let me just double check the frequency on this because it should be okay. Yep. And then back into play mode. Right. We're back in business. So I'm not too bothered about the blue line here. I feel like it's close enough that they can walk. In my head, there's like a connecting bridge to the stations, or maybe it's slightly extended to kind of reach people. But you get the point. You get the point of that. Right, that's all perfect then. That blue line has now been extended. So the last thing I now need to do is sort out the direct LaGuardia connection that goes into the Bronx. So we have it set up right now where the outer 4-lane system here, which this is eventually going to end up turning and connecting down this way when it extends more into Long Island. We want that, actually thinking about it, I'm going to start here first. We want that to progress into the Bronx. Now, I don't remember what levels we're on here, so this is going to be interesting. So I know we go from this way, so... And it's going to have to be a... Let's go to a -15. Okay, maybe not a -15. We'll go to a -10. Is that elevated? Just out of curiosity, is that elevated? It is, which is even more annoying. Because now, I don't know how I'm getting this to connect. Okay, apparently I do know. But awkwardly, it's on the wrong side. Now, I'm going to assume this is underground. Just because of the way that that train line there runs. So, -5. And at some point, we've got to get that from a -5 up to there. Right, I don't know why I did that. Undo. No, I'm going the wrong way. Going the wrong way. Right, undo again. I'm not liking that tight bend it's trying to attempt to do. So I'm going to delete these tracks there. And then we're going to run this. See, we can't do that. I've got to bring it up to a 5 as soon as possible. Right, there we go. So I've got to then bring this down to a -5 at some point. But we're going to have dramatic issues here in doing so. Right, there was a moment there where it worked, and I don't know where that point was again. Right, ignore how awkward this now is. No, I'm meant to be going down. Ignore how awkward this is. I agree, this is a shambles. But it will work. It will work, okay? It's a shambles, I get it, but it will work. Now, I'm just going to have to do the odd little trick here of looping back around. Just so I can use that as an end station. So that will run all the way up on the outskirts. We get to here, still on the outskirts, and then it pretty much ends there. So what we want to now do is set up, let's build a station here. It's a -5. Does that work in terms of a station? So a station there, because that's the crossover on the purple line from this new line I'm about to build. We'll add a stop just there because we... Okay. We're actually going to undo this. Where's the undo button gone? There it is. I'm blind. And I'm going to see if I can do it elevated. I have a feeling that this is not going to work. I've just got that feeling. Hold on, am I doing single platforms here? I actually am. Right, build station, parallel. Now I could do a +5. Like in general. But I don't think I'm going to have the ability to elevate this up. So single tracks. Yeah, there's going to be no way in this world I'm going to be able to elevate this. There's just no way. So it's going to have to, unfortunately, be underground, this. Right, build station. Now, I'm going to do it a -10 on this one. I can't because that's a -10. -15. This is going to be so expensive. Now, the reason I'm doing -15 there is because I've got to go through the depths here. Which is never a good thing. And I'm going to assume that's elevated. Right, we should actually probably bring it up. So if I can get it to a -5 at least here. Just out of curiosity, this is actually a lot more difficult than I was expecting. Ground level +5. No. Right, undo. Build station. So that's going to be an elevated station there. Build the tracks going across. It's just, there is no way in this world I'm transitioning down to there because of that. No. It's either or. This is stupid, this is now, isn't it? Okay, that's a -5. So we've got it to a -5 there. It's just not possible to get it to a +5. Unless I can get it to a 0. We're going to hit that, though. All right, down to... And then... How soon can I get a +5? There? So we're now technically a +5 there. I could build a station that slightly hangs over the water. Interesting. To continue my tracks. Right, don't question me, right? I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. This has all got to now be a -10. To bending. And then -10. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. So, again, I'm going to assume... Hang on, this is wrong. Let's do a 5. I'm going to assume that this is a 5. Maybe not. So if I ran this... Oh, maybe that is underground. Yeah, that is underground. All that for nothing. All right, run you there. Parallel tracks. Well, that's really annoyed me now. I'm not gonna lie. Right, delete you. Build the parallel tracks. I've got to get it to a minus... I'm going the wrong way. -5. What's going on here? Oh, I'm on build stations, that's why. Okay, we'll get it to a 0. Track is above the ocean floor. Must be a minimum of 5 meters, boys. Okay, so just get it to a -5 as soon as I can, and the rest is in history. The rest is then history. So if I did that there, and then bendy wendy you in, and then then just go ahead and delete all this again, because we're going to run singles. So you're running directly to there. You're coming from there, which you've got to be a -10, believe it or not. Unless I did a -8. And then we do a -10. What is the depth of that? I don't know, but it's now done. It's now done. So I do need to put a cap on that to end the route, but we're going to soon extend that anyway. So I'm not going to build the line on it just yet, but we'll commit to those blueprints, and we can confidently now say we've got all the lines that I need in position, right, to go ahead and do the Bronx expansion. So there's only one line I've got to build. We know that. We know that right now. Only one line I've got to build. But we're in position for the Bronx expansion. So let's have a little bit of a fast forward then before I do implement this. Look at my vast network, boys. There's a few big gaps here, there, and there that we could probably do with some additional train lines. Maybe we do something in the future. But what is the route ridership saying on these? My brand new fire line, by the way, which is this northern part of the loop, is looking pretty good. The what do I call the bottom loop ones? The gold one and is it the teal line I called it? Which are these two just here. So they're just as good as the fire line. And they share the same line, which is wild. Absolutely wild. Right, my lilac line is looking very interesting as well. Yellow line is still dominant. Of course it is. Of course it is, boys. But we're about to expand into the Bronx, which when you check the demand stats, it's a very, very, very populous area. So how much is this going to change the lines? That yellow line is probably going to still be super dominant as it's going to run through the most populous parts of the Bronx. Crazy, right? Now, there's not too many workers. There is a few, but not too many. So this should be pretty interesting. So I reckon then we're going to zoom in and we're going to take a look. So there's 2 lines on this. So if they both came up and they turned this way, and then we get them to split left and right here, I think that's the way we do that one. Yeah. That's the way we do it, boys. We'll make the red line crossover on a station here of them running up. Then we've got the perp line that comes in. That will run through this island. And then maybe come up this way as well. So we're going to have to really change some of how these lines are going to run. I'm not sure if we can do the airport one as an extension. I'm not sure yet. Yellow line's clearly going to run up. Green line's going to clearly run up as well. And that pink line is going to come through and then run up through this little line there. Oh, there's so much we've got to do. There is so much we've got to do. So let's start then with the 4-line system. Because the sooner I do that, the sooner I can get it all in. Now, I'm going to keep this one at a -10. Okay? We're going to keep it at a -10. We're going to do quad. And let me just first place down where the crossover for that red line station is going to be. I'll do a stop just there. And I'll do a stop just there. That sounds good to me. Actually, we're going to undo that. I'm just going to move it there a bit more. Just slightly reposition it. Because I can see us needing to do, east and west lines here. I can see us having to do that. Right. So that runs up to there and it's all good. And then this will be the final stop there where it decides to split in a different direction. And I'll do a stop just there as well. So that's where my 4-lane system's going to run. Very nice. Now, we're going to go to a -5, to which we're going to make that red line parallel, by the way. Okay, we might have to make this one drop down to a 15. I've just realized the depths of those buildings. So let me go to a -15 real quick. Right, we get away with it there. Now, is it going to continue is the actual question. If so, I might just make it go like this. And then what I'll do is I'll slowly stagger it back up. So we'll then do a -10 station. And that should meet us quite easy to the depth of that station. And that's all good there. So that would obviously extend and continue. It might cross over another line. I'm not particularly too sure at the moment. Now, pink line's going to come up and cross through that station and then join up onto this run going up as well. So let's get that in place. Again, we'll keep this to a -10. Let's build a station now. Now, I had different plans for this previously, but plans change. Right, one there, and I'm going to do one quickly just there. So crossing over, I want it to cross this. So I'm wondering if I just build it like that. And then figure out the best place for this. So I could just run that there as it then wiggles over. So building tracks again. And let's keep this going. Nice, simple connections. And then that will have a mind of its own as it continues. So, quad stations then. Let's get all these quickly now connected. Glorious. Right, I'm going to run it to there and then turn in. It does make it a little bit slower, but I don't particularly want it to go under all the buildings. Right. That runs to there. So that is the first variation of expansion into and towards the Bronx. We just need to get into the heart of it a little bit more. So we've now got the option. I think we're going to work with this section a bit more now. And we now got the option to split this to run it up, where that one's going to go to the right and probably terminate over here. And that will be, because that will be the, we can actually choose which one it wants to be. We can actually choose it, so it's all good. It's all good. That's going to turn that way. We have this one that can run up as well, so we just got to figure out where they're actually going. So let's start then with a -5 as we continue to build our parallel stations here, running all the way up. So you're going to go there. You're going to go there. And you're going to go here. So keep this going. Nice and simple. I'm going to do one just there. Very good. Do one there. Very good. And I might just simply end it just there for a minute, so I can give myself time to catch up. So we'll just put those stations in there as a little bit of a placeholder at the moment. Now this yellow line, we're going to get it to then have a station here. We'll get to have a station there. So I'm thinking about diagonals now of like the Chrissy Crossies we can eventually get set up. That is what I'm now thinking. There. And again, we'll just end that for now. There is a bit of a large gap there, but I'm not sure whether to... It's because of the diagonal system, isn't it? I'm going to leave it like that. That's all good. That's all good. It's all good. And then the green line, I'll implement a station then here. And then we'll get that to turn... No, do you know what? I'm probably going to end that with an extension there. Because I will need to start thinking about crossover points. Now, do you know what? I actually got a better idea for the green line. All right, that can go there. And then maybe it's forced to cross over through here. Or is it going to continue up? Let me check my demand stats. Nah, it kind of needs to continue up, doesn't it? Yeah, let's not beat around the bush here. I have a feeling that's not going to be deep enough. So I'm going to do a -10 on this one. For the glorious transition. And I'm just going to end that one there. So that one's gone a little bit more north than the others. So you can see where these expansions are now taking place. But they're pretty much all direct routes to no man's land. There's no supporting lines for them at the minute. Right, we're going to now sort out the line that now turns. So we're definitely going to have... Let me just check my demand stats again. So that's going to go... I feel like it needs to kind of go this way. And we have a route that goes that way. And then these are the routes that run up this side. Yeah. That's what I feel like it needs to technically do. So back into building stations. Now I think what I'm going to do here is build a -10 quad. And we're going to use that as the transition for the parallel line and the bend here to go up on the parallel stations. If that makes sense. So I'm going to have one there. I want to throw in one there. And then, of course, have you up there. I feel like that one needs to be repositioned. Put it like that. Very good, very good, very good. So that one's going to kind of turn there, but it's going to be on the crisscross over as a parallel line. Yeah, that should work. It should work. And then that's going to extend up and over. I'll sort this out at a later date, but I think I just want to focus on this first. This makes the most sense to me. Right, let's get... Ooh. Do you have a problem there? I zoomed out and it was a problem. I zoomed in and it was no problem. Right, let's continue these. Oh, the wiggle now has to come in. Slight little wiggle. That will be called the Rattler Boys. As you get rattled as you go through all those little twists and turns. Right, it should be fairly straightforward now. We're a -5. Big extension into the Bronx. And this should be glorious. Right, we'll come back and do all the Chrissy Crossies. I like it when you can just run a straight line, no questions asked. Feels good, doesn't it? Feels like I've done something right. Okay, didn't do anything right there, did I? Right, there we go. And... in... bendy wendy. Oh, we're still... oh, this is the -10, isn't it? So let me make this a little bit deeper. And then we should be able to bend in. And that's going to be going from -10. Directly to there. Okay, so we just got to sort this one out. And then we can get all these lines in. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. I don't know whether just to make this one be the center. Just to save me all the pain and heartache. I don't know if I should or not. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to make Future Seniac have a harder job of trying to make the overpass work with the tight bends here. So remember this, guys. Future Seniac is going to be raging at previous Seniac, which previous Seniac is current Seniac, about what I did just here. He's not going to be a happy chap. But that's going to be hilarious. So when that episode comes out, when I work with that, and I'm not happy, just write, I don't know, lol in the chat or something. Go, past Seniac is currently laughing at you in the past. Or something like that. Right, bam. And wha-bam. Right, perfect. So we've got these nice extensions right now. The red line does crisscross over, which kind of interesting how it does that now. We do have some unused tracks from the green line to the yellow line. Very interesting, boys. But that's how it's just ultimately going to work. That's how we're going to get it all set up. But I'm still determining and favoring that yellow line to be super busy. Right, let's add in some crisscrosses on these top end stations because there will be the new endpoints that we've got up and running. Now, when it comes to this station here, I think I might just extend it to one additional station. So if I just make this a -10, build a station, and then go here, we'll end it to there. So building the singular tracks. I'm wondering what the best way to do this would be. I think that might already be a -10, right? Yeah. But it's not liking the bend. Right, if I come from here. Right, it's really not liking this bend right now, is it? Now I can get it there. But I can't get it there because of the depth of everything. So what if I go to a 6? So can't cross there. A 5 can't cross there. A 7 can't cross there. So I'm going to say a 3 can cross there. So a 3 can cross there. But a 3 down to there. The slope is not quite there. Undo that. Can I get from a 5 from here? Yeah. Ha ha! The funsies of Subway Builder. So, right, build tracks. Build you to here. And then my singular would connect there. My singular would bend and connect there. Don't judge me. Right. It's all part of the fun. It's all part of the fun. Right, we can now extend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines and create a brand new line. So that's 6 lines in total that are now going to run slowly in towards the Bronx area. So the cost of this is 5.65 billion. That's probably the most I've spent in a single purchase. That's now about to be bought, baby. Now about to be bought. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. We now just wait for the game to catch up. Glorious. And let's do all these step by step. So that green line extension, we're going to edit the route. Going to zoom right in and get all this now thrown on. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, and then bam. Lovely. Jubbly. So then, train-wise, we're going to increase the frequency now. Nice. That green line extension has been completed, mate. Right, the busiest one out of all of them, the yellow line. And I'm now making it even longer. Right, keep this going. Nice. And then just there on that last one, perfection. All right, all updated. Confirm changes. And then just add in a few more trains if needed. So 24. Yeah, that's I'll add one more there. That's fine by me. You're now extended. So the pink line, and the pink line's interesting because, let me check my route ridership. It's the 4th busiest line, by the way. The 4th busiest line. And it's now actually going to run through quite a big heart of the Bronx. So this it's actually going to have like one of the biggest extensions out of all these lines running through Manhattan. This might do some magic right now for this pink line. I'm just throwing that out there, boys. We might see some magic now happening. All right, let's keep it going. Keep it going, boys. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Right. That's a beautiful extension. Beautiful extension. Confirm those changes. And then we're probably going to need to add the most amount of trains to this one, maybe. I'll add 24 to that, 12 to that, 9 to that. Right, nice, glorious extension. The red line's got the smallest extension out of all of them. Sorry, red line. Sorry. Bam, bam, bam. Did I add? Oh, no, I didn't add the... let me cancel that edit. I didn't add the crisscross to this red line here, did I? Add the crisscross. And then build and wait 20 gazillion years for those build plans to approve. Any minute now? Any minute now. Come on, game. Catch up. You can tell we've got a lot of data on this save game right now because stuff is taking so long. Just building a simple crisscross takes this long. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Right. Edit this route. So, bam, bam. The right side. And don't forget that one just there. Right. We are now all updated. So that wouldn't have done much to it. I don't know, we need to add... Okay, yeah, we do need to add an extra train. I'll add an extra 2. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, it's more in the rush hour. Right, extensions galore. So let's now work then with the current line that we have remaining, which is the light blue line. So this has had an extension already. It's now having another one. So it comes in and it's now on the inner side of these 2 stops. So I don't know which on the inner side continues and turns. I think this is the one that goes straight up towards the north of the Bronx. So this light blue line right now has become one of the least used lines when we first built it as part of our elevated system. Running through Brooklyn to now becoming a very vital line as it runs all the way up here. I like how it's all elevated in Brooklyn and becomes all underground in the Bronx. It's kind of cool, that is. So confirm those changes, and then train-wise, we need to add a few more. So let's add 24, 12, 9. There we go. So we've got the 5 lines now fully extended. We still haven't done anything with this yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with it at the minute, or whether we're going to focus on having lines connect. Now, the purple line and the yellow line here are all going to also extend up onto the Bronx area going this way, where we'll have the red line cross over all of them leading to the end here, and then another line crossing over a little bit further up. But at the same time, we're going to have another line crossing here as well. So we've got it all planned. I actually might just have this line run up into the middle, maybe. We'll see. We will see right now. So I'm not going to extend those just yet because I got to figure out a plan for all of this. But what I will do is add in that new line. Now, that new line is going to run on the same as our fire line, but then splits off there and it runs power of our blue line. So it's kind of going to share some tracks. And when I say some tracks, a lot of tracks. There's not going to be many stations where it runs on its own. It's more of a supporting line, okay? So we need a color for it. Now, do I go for this color here? Do I have a color like that? I actually kind of like the idea of that color. That could be our... what color does it look like? Puke? No. I need a nicer name for that because people won't go on the puke line. They might puke on the line, but they're not going to go on the puke line. The bogey line? Right, you're not really selling it, Zodiac. You're not really selling this color right now, are you? I'm going to call it the sage line. The sage line. Create. Nice. And let's now edit this. So we'll start here. Now, this is going to run on both of the outers. That's where this is going to go. all of the outers. So it's sharing here with the fire line at the moment. Crosses over with the gold line just there. Still sharing the fire line as we speak. All the way up to LaGuardia. Now, that will eventually extend more into Long Island. Now, it crosses over here with the lemon line. Absolutely delicious. Keep it going. Still sharing with the fire line. And then this is where it finally crosses over the light blue line, then separates from the fire line to then have its own station for the first time. But it still shares it with the purple line and the fire line. Now it's got its dedicated own station, which it then meets back up with the blue line. So now it's sharing with the blue line. So it only had 2 stations where it didn't share the station with another line. So sharing the blue, crossing over with the red. Nice. Still sharing with the blue, sharing with the blue, and then it's got its own station just there. And will continue to extend. Now, could that maybe eventually be turned into a big mega loop around here? I don't know. Possibly. You just never know. Now, that's only a 30-minute route. Interesting. So, commit to those changes. We are going to add in a bunch of trains right now. So, I've already used my 300 trains, or train cars, I should say. So let's get 200 on the go now. I wish there was like another button next to the plus one that you could buy it in like multiples of like 10 rather than 1. You know what I mean? So every time you buy one, you're buying 5, but there's another button where you can buy 50 at a time. Right, 12, 6, 4. Boom. And now we press play. And just give the game a second to catch up with itself and realize where they now can go. So this really does set us up right now quite nice. This really does now set us up quite nice. Right, we're going to have a little bit of confusion with some of the trains because all of a sudden they can go in routes they didn't know existed before, like that pink line going all the way to the top. And we're now seeing the yellow line going up as well. Reaching passengers we could never reach before, but we need more interconnectivity. Now, I know this orange line here, I think the orange line there could be one of my worst lines. So forget the sage line because it doesn't exist at the minute. We gotta wait for the numbers. Orange line is looking pretty sparse right now. Now, what if that came up and was the contributing factor that went through the big populous area of the Bronx to connect all these lines up? That could then become quite an important run. So everything is positioned for a reason. Everything has a plan. It just takes a while for some of the lines to see their plan come into fruition. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens now. I don't expect that Sage line to be super busy because it is more of a supporting role at the moment. It won't be until it extends into its own areas where it's able to kind of, pick up the majority of all the passengers. Now, what I'm interested in more than anything else is how the other lines that extend up in towards the Bronx, how busy did they now become? So the pink line has actually dropped down a little bit and somehow the peach line has slightly picked up. We might see the pink line rising again because they've had to have a little bit of moment to adjust. And I think they are now catching up that peach line pretty rapidly. So we should see that pink line overtake the peach line shortly. Will it? Won't it? I'm watching the numbers right now. There we go. It's just overtaken it. Yeah, baby. So we'll see what happens. We'll honestly just see what happens. Now, the light blue line, again, that's also slightly climbing up the leaderboards. Will it overtake that fire line? I'm not too sure. The fire line was actually doing pretty good, but it's now since dropping down because the other lines around it are able to obviously carry more passengers. but very good. Like I said, I don't expect the Sage line to do much just yet until it has its own extensions. But what a glorious network. If anything, I've just put more people onto the yellow line. That yellow line, busy, mate. Absolutely busy right now. So Pink's back to being in for fourth place. I don't know if he'll be able to push up and have a bit more of a dig into the Lilac line. Not too sure. But where does that stand on demand stats right now? Now, a quarter of the people are using public transport. How amazing is that right now? We've just now accessed a whole world of people in the Bronx. I like how this part of New Jersey right now is predominantly transit. I love it. I absolutely love it right now. And give it more time to tick along. And then we'll see more people using these systems. But you can see where they want to go. Some of the areas they want to go to we're not actually currently serving. So there's not really much I can kind of do about that, unfortunately. We're just not there yet. We're just not there yet. So yeah, a quarter of the people are using my public transit network. Amazing. Loving it. Our route riderships right now looking pretty solid. But things change quickly. As quick as we can get people on the lines, as quick as everything can ultimately change. So we'll just give it time right now to kind of settle in. See where the hiccups are. See what lines are being, overused than the other ones. See what demand we've currently got. Should be interesting, but it's the middle of the night right now, so it is not too busy, but people are still being transported. Now, what's our income saying at this point? Now we've got new extensions. Have we broken? Yes, we've broken the $3 billion mark in operational profit. I've just spent a ridiculous amount of money these past couple of days on these expansions. The operational profit is increasing. My ticket price is still $6. So what do you say, boys? At what point should I start lowering the ticket price? When do you reckon I should do it? When should I stress test my current network? Should we play around with it next episode, or shall we wait until I've got a few more lines in? I don't know. But what I do know is we are going to end it here. Guys, we've still got so many more expansions into the Bronx and going into upstate New York. So many expansions still needed to be done. So many more supporting lines. If you're here and want to get to here, you got to come all the way down, cross over to there, down. Actually, you got to go all the way down to here, cross, and then, oh, it's a right nightmare, isn't it? It's a right nightmare, boys. But we're going to probably use that orange line to cross through. So it should be pretty handy. We will end it here for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please smash that like button down below. And until next time I see you all soon, so goodbye.